Fox 55 Sports. This is The Locker Room.
Hey, welcome back inside the locker room, everyone. Alongside special guest here in the studio, Dan Vance from Outside the Huddle. You recognize the face. It's, you know, we bring the big guns in when it's time to talk playoffs. High school football regular season now officially in the books, so time to look ahead to the postseason. So Dan, who has been covering high school football in the area all year long with his partner Justin Kinney, has joined us. We're going to preview sectionals 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, but Dan, we're going to start in 1A as we always do, and quite frankly, sectional 44 might be the best sectional in the entire area, as it seems to be every year. Maybe not quite as strong this year now that South Adams is no longer in the sectional, but still have 3 ranked teams in sectional 44, 3 teams in the top 10 in that class. Southwood unbeaten. Churubusco has only lost twice all year. Adams Central's lone loss came to South Adams. So, Dan, when you look at those 3 teams, obviously Southwood and Busco, that's an elimination game in the first round. Adams Central, you would think, looks like they have a pretty clear path to the championship game. Right now, when you look at those 3 squads, which do you like the best?
I think Adams Central is peaking at the right time. Blake Hirely, we heard about him earlier in the year that he was going to be very strong come maybe even next year, but he's really started to peak right now. I think Adams Central is playing really good football, but of course Busco and Southwood is that first-round matchup. Can Southwood slow down Jake Folk? Not many people have been able to do it, and I think as long as Jake Folk is moving the ball and Gage Kelly is moving the ball like the way Busco's been doing, I think they got to be favorites. So I think that they're going to be looking really good at the top, but I really like Adams Central right now. Yeah,
sectional 43 now as we move down. Obviously, South Adams probably a little bit relieved to be out of sectional 44. You don't have to deal with the likes of AC, Southwood, and Churubusco, but still a very good Monroe Central team in that sectional that likely they'll have to beat in the semifinals in order to win that championship. They beat them in the regular season 34-15, and Dan, I would assume that you're probably looking at that as the sectional championship game in the semifinals.
Oh yeah, really, and Monroe Central did a better job against South Adams than most teams have. There's just so many weapons, and you guys have talked about it all year. Everybody has talked about it. South Adams has so many weapons. Monroe Central slowed them down a little bit, and we saw even in week 8, Woodland was able to slow them down a little bit because of the rain. But if you get really nice nights and you get on turf, I don't know who slows down the Starfires.
All right, we move to Class 2A now, and Dan, sectional 35, in my opinion, may be the most wide open in the area. When you look at, obviously, Eastside, never won a sectional championship before. They're having an outstanding season under Todd Mason. Bluffton is in the middle of their best season since 1982. Obviously, Fairfield, much improved. Bishop Luers having a little bit of a down year by their standard, but you have to think if you take them out of the SAC and put them into the ACAC or the NECC, they're probably competing for a title in at least one of those leagues. So when you look at sectional 35, is there a favorite in your eyes, and if so, who would that be?
Well, you got to talk about health again, and all these teams are finally healthy. Bishop Luers has been riddled with injuries all year. Jarek Johnson finally back for them. The same thing goes for Woodland, though. Just getting Ben Reedy back in week 8 after he missed so much time as a senior leader and quarterback. To me right now, I'm saying Woodland's a favorite because they finally have everybody, and they've played most of their season either missing David Bischoff or missing Ben Reedy, other key components of that team. They're finally 100% healthy and 100% there, and I think Woodland's a very dangerous team.
All right, in 3A, and we look at sectional 27, and another one that, I mean, looks relatively wide open. Mechaniqua having a pretty good season. They knocked off Tippecanoe Valley, barely lost to Southwood first game of the season. Obviously, Norwell is much improved from last year under head coach Josh Gerber. Concordia has beaten the teams that they're supposed to beat. They've lost to the teams that they are supposed to lose to. So when you look at the cadets, Dan, obviously the SAC, you know, a little bit better probably than the NE8, obviously probably significantly better than the Three Rivers. You look at Concordia as the favorite in the sectional. I'm sure they're relieved to no longer have Bishop Luers on the opposite side of the bracket as they have in years past.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where you definitely look at playing the SAC in the regular season as a big advantage for Concordia. They play a tougher schedule than anybody else in this sectional plays. If they can air the ball out, if Brandon Davis can get rid of the ball, and having the weapons with Vander Bosch and Tyler Grossman, Jaron Kindig that he has, I think they're really dangerous, but I think they've definitely been propelled by the regular season schedule. I think that they're happy to be in this sectional now, and they're not playing against 4A and 5A and 6A teams.
Staying in Class 3A, we move up to sectional 26 now, and Mishawaka Marion, West Noble, 2 teams, both ranked top 10 in the class. Those two probably the favorites, Tippecanoe Valley, South Bend, Washington, both having very good seasons as well, though. Mishawaka-Marion, though, Dan, they've won 4 straight sectionals. West Noble has never won one, so you've got 2 top 10 programs that are having outstanding seasons, but one has been there before, one has not. Is that the difference in your eyes in this sectional, or do you believe West Noble can get the job done and bring home that first sectional to Ligonier?
Well, that's the question. Is we know West Noble is NECC good.
Yeah.
How good are they outside of that? I think that they're a very good team. I think they're going to be tough to contain on the run. Brandon Pruitt and what he can do. I mean, we've all talked about that on both sides of the ball. I really like Josh Gross and what he brings to his team. For West Noble, we know what they bring, and we know that they work hard, and we know that they're a blue-collar football team. I think they're the real deal, and I think they're going to get through the sectional.
In Class 4A and Sectional 20, couple of very interesting sectional 20 and Sectional 19. Maybe not so much in our area for Sectional 20 because the 2 teams to beat in that sectional, Dan, are obviously Delta and Marion, both ranked top 10 in Class 4A. Both on opposite sides of the bracket, so on paper it looks like those 2 teams are on a collision course. If, though, there is a team, be it New Haven, Jay County, Wayne, Huntington North, or Southside, that could pull an upset, who do you like most out of that group?
I definitely like New Haven the most, just the up-tempo style they play, especially on the defensive end. A much improved team, and if you look at those first couple of weeks and those losses to start the season, close losses against very good football programs, and New Haven's a very good football program. I think they have an outside chance, but Marion's looking really strong in the bottom half of that bracket.
As we move to Sectional 19, this may be the most balanced sectional. I'm not sure if I'd call it wide open because I believe East Noble is the clear-cut favorite, although there's some very good teams in the sectional. But in terms of balance, there's only really one team in this sectional that has struggled this season, and that's Wawasee, Northridge, Columbia City, DeKalb, Northwood, Angola, Leo, all having solid seasons at the very least. But Dan, East Noble, obviously the elephant in the room. They haven't won a sectional since 2003. They've won conference titles. They've been a great regular season team. Is this the year, they're wondering up in Kendallville, the Knights can finally move on to regionals?
I think it is. I mean, they're just absolutely loaded on both sides of the ball. There's so many weapons for them that even if they need a next guy to step up, they've been able to do that all year. And when you have a guy like Bailey Parker, I mean, again, talk about a guy who does stuff on both sides of the ball. He's arguably your best defender. He's arguably your best runner, and obviously he's your quarterback. I think it's a really fun sectional, but man, East Nobles, they're tough. They're very tough.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing how that sectional pans out. And as we move to 5A, only one bracket to really speak of in this area. 3 SAC teams in Sectional 11. Northrop will take on a struggling Goshen team in round 1. Bishop Dwenger will take on Northside at Chambers Field, and obviously Dwenger won state last year at the Class 4A level. They move up due to the success factor. What odds do you give them? What chance do you give them to get back to Lucas Oil Stadium and obviously what's going to be a more difficult class?
I think they have a really good shot at getting back once you get back there. The southern half of the state, it's New Pal. Yeah. I mean, we can say any other teams.
Yeah.
It's very tough, but they played very well this year in adjusting their game. Their defense has been very strong. We look back at Week 8, the effort they put up against Snyder. So I think they have a really good shot at getting back. Once they get there, it's a big challenge, but, you know, can't put the cart in front of the horse. You got to get there first.
That's true. All right, in Class 6A, obviously Sectional 3, 3 of the top 4 teams in the SAC. It's always fun. Homestead a little banged up right now. Obviously, yeah. Braden Hardwick is out for the season. Cam Rogers did not play in their last game at home against Wayne. So a little bit banged up Homestead right now. What's your level of concern with the Spartans as they enter the postseason? And do you still look at them as the favorite in Sectional 3, despite, you know, obviously Carroll and Snyder, 2 really good teams, being on the other side of the bracket?
Yeah, I look at them as a favorite, and for them it's because it's been able to be the next guy up. You know, Braden Hardwick goes down, and he's one of the best rushers in the area. Ryan Burton comes in, a guy who hadn't run the ball since middle school, and did a terrific job. They had a great next guy up mentality, and this is a team that's kept winning at the forefront. They kept the bell at the forefront all year long, and they accomplished that goal, and now they're Gold State. So if they can keep that at the forefront every week and every play like they did in the regular season, I think Homestead's in great shape.
Dan Vance, appreciate you joining us. I'm Peter Hood. Again, we'll have much more coming up in the locker room right after this break, so please stick around.